Tell the truth.
You're listening to Prime Sports Media.
Tell the truth.
Prime Sports Media. Yeah.
Tell the truth.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, Information Man. This is Prime Sports Media. As you can see, Deion Sanders is on there doing his thing. A lot is going on with brother Deion Sanders as a coach. Coach Primetime at Colorado. He's doing big things. You can see him there in his office. He has one of his assistants who has definitely tricked out his office. It looks fantastic. All of his quotes on the wall. Very exciting to see that. But there's a lot going on. He's heavily recruiting heavily. I think Colorado right now is number one with Deion Sanders at the helm. They're the number one in the transport portal. So they're recruiting at an all-time high, being the number one school at recruiting the number one top, getting the top transfers that are coming in. And I'm going to touch on that in just a minute. But Deion Sanders is doing, I got to say, the damn thing. You see him on GQ magazine. He's giving some interviews. He's one of the hottest coaches in America today. And that is the truth. Doing the damn thing. Again, I'm going to say it again. But this man is all over the place. Last night, he was at the national championship. And I want to touch on that at TCU versus Georgia in the national championship. And I got to say, it really wasn't much of a contest. I think personally, it was one of the worst national championship games that I've ever seen, where there was no balance. It was clear that Georgia or that TCU was no match for Georgia, that Georgia has the five-star recruits while TCU is struggling the whole night. They struggled along the way. So it was not an enjoyable game for me personally, but definitely it was enjoyable for Georgia stumping all over TCU last night. And guess who was in town for that game last night? Well, no other than, that's right, we're coming. Deion Sanders, Coach Primetime of Colorado. He was in town and he was talking it up with some of the coast there. And I thought it was fantastic that he was in town. And what I want to do is I want to give you a little taste of Deion from last night, because I really want to tell you that this man, in the title of this video, was also on CBS Sports morning show, where he gave a lot of praise to Jackson State for them being the program, Jackson State, at HBCU school, that got him to where he is. He credits them a lot in that interview, and we're going to touch on that. But let's hear Deion last night, because when he was there, you could tell Nick Saban, they were all a little nervous, because they're saying, hey, Deion, are you here to recruit and get some of these players on this field for transport? I mean, they were just having a good time last night. Let's hear the little piece of this.
Sanders is here. But they get the memo that we were all wearing ties. Nobody get no Nobody.
All of us.
Even him. Even him.
He went from tank top to tie. How about that? You know what? Dion is here scouting. You're starting your season with TCU next year. Oh, wow.
Well, maybe. That may change.
Oh, it may change. What has it?
There it is, folks. Deion Sanders having a little fun at the national championship game. But he predicted that game last night, that Georgia would repeat from what they did. Now, let's get into the meat and the sauce of the content today, because Deion Sanders, as I said before, had an incredible interview on CBS Morning Show. And he really explained taking on the new job at Colorado. Let's just keep it real at Colorado. The challenges that he'll have to go through to transform that program. I mean, this is a program that was in the tanker, a program that was once great, and he's doing a hell of a job, as I said, getting top recruits in. He already has this young man who's come in by the name of Amari Miller, who is a 4-star wide receiver. He's already been lucky enough. People are saying that this is the steal of the season right now, and he's got, this is why they are one of the top transfer schools right now. They've got all the top transfer recruits that are coming from other schools, and this is Miles Schlesinger. This is Miles Schlesinger, should I say. Let me get his name correct here. Miles Schlesinger, who originally played at Arkansas. He was leaving Arkansas to transfer to Louisville, but then changed his commitment to come right here to Colorado and play for Primetime. Let me give you some stats on this man. This was breaking news. Now, he's a safety. Miles was a safety. He has told everyone that he is now committed to Colorado. This man is 6'1", 196 pounds, from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He will have 2 years of eligibility left. And in 3 years at Arkansas, he totaled 93 tackles at 2.5 sacks and 11 takeaways. This man, 11 interceptions, takeaways, forced tackles, forced takeaways. The man is fantastic. Great job by Deion to get this young man right now. Let's give him a clap. To get Amari Miller at receiver at 4-star, but to get this man who I just spoke of, Miles, a transfer safety. And those at Arkansas, they're saying that losing him in their secondary was a very big deal. So let's come back over here. You got Deion Sanders right there doing the damn thing, speaking it up, speaking that truth. And he's really got a cool office right now that he's enjoying. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of it all. And that is this. He had a great interview on CBS. He's the #1 pick of Colorado. There he is with the shirt there, the jersey there, Coach Primetime. And let's see what they were talking about on CBS Morning, talking to Deion. And I want you to hear a few things right now. Here we go.
Just right now. Good morning. What's up, Prime?
How you doing, my brother? I'm proud of you. You're looking good as usual.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Proud of you, and you're looking good as usual as well. Now, we're familiar with your success as a player. You talk about it often. We have watched you dominate on the football field. But what has made you successful as a coach?
Circling myself with a bunch of other coaches that are really good, that understands relationships, understands these young men, and attracting kids that are smart, tough, fast, disciplined, with character. And not allowing these kids to coach us, but we're implementing those old school principles that you and I grew up on, and you and I adored, playing for someone that accelerated those principles. And we just want these kids not to just rely on being a professional football player. We want them to be professionals, period.
Now, as I mentioned, you completely transformed what was going on at Jackson State, and the world was watching. What is it about that program that you will miss now that you have moved on?
The people. We can always say we want to change the culture, but until you change the people, you cannot fathom to change the culture. But I'm going to miss so many of the people that are in that university that are
there, because this is very important what Deion Sanders is saying right now, ladies and gentlemen, that he is going to miss the people. That's primarily the people, the relationships that you build is very important. And you're going to see him, or you're going to hear him say that he believes that Jackson State really shaped his ability to get to where he is now in his coaching career. And I think that says a lot about the man himself. And so let's continue to hear more.
Amongst the city that were just a blessing to me, my kids, as well as the program. I'm going to truly miss the people. If it wasn't for Jackson State, I wouldn't be here.
You know, Deion Sanders, I've been watching this series. Number one, it is so good. I was sitting there taking notes because you are a quote a minute. If you have a plan B, you won't make it. When your team lost a game and they said we left some meat on the bones, collard greens on the plate, that's not good enough. But it's the way that you talk to the kids, but it's also the way you live your life. I was so touched in the series where you talked about you had your toes amputated, 2 of them, because of blood clots, and you said the doctor came to you with an expression you never want to see, but you said anytime you go through something bad, it's worth it, and you said God always has you, and it doesn't matter just as long as I'm alive. Could you just talk about how you got through that? Because I was so moved by how you handled that situation. And now your teammates say that you're now showing off your toes. I'm like,
They're lying about that, but that was one of the most trying times of my life. I mean, you talk about an athlete who prided himself on his body and his physical attributes. Now I'm short. I'm short 2 toes. Now they're talking about amputation of my whole leg. Now they're talking about my life. And having your back up against the wall and you're saying, God, I know darn well you didn't bring me this far for this. And I trust God so much. I never doubted. I never wavered. I never even considered the fact that I wasn't going to be here to raise my kids and raise these children that I coach. Not one bit. My faith was sustained. How can you even measure your faith if you're not challenged? So just going through that whole time and seeing my kids migrate to the hospital, some didn't even want to see their father like that, but understood that even through the trials and tribulation, I had to remain true to who I was and what I believed. Anybody could clap with everybody, or walk with a nice strut when everybody's clapping for you. But when you're on your back and you're sitting there looking up, you got to remain consistent with who you are and what you believe. And that was a trying time, but we made it through.
Coach, let me ask you a question about Damar Hamlin, who's making a remarkable, incredible recovery. In your position as a coach of young men who hopefully will one day play in the NFL, what's your message to them after they see that video and they see what happened to Damar, and maybe they're feeling a little concerned about themselves when they step out onto the field? What is the message to them?
Well, first of all, hats off, and I'm praying for this young man, his friends, family, loved ones, and anyone that's close to him. I'm not going to say that's part of it, because it's not. That could have happened anywhere, on any play, and Nate could tell you that wasn't even that severe of an impactful hit or collision to prompt that. That was just the timing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to look forward to something that happened through that. He's going to be all right, and I trust God that he is. But do you see how we came together as a country, as a people? He wasn't black, he wasn't white, he wasn't Hispanic, he wasn't Asian. He wasn't anything but someone who we cared about. And we all came together as what? For that moment in that time, and we're still together. I just want to understand that cohesiveness that brought us together, and let's maintain that. It shouldn't take tragedy for us to come together as a people. And that's what I want right now. I want all of us to love each other and sing Kumbaya, just like you do every morning. You have a collection of people and ethnicity and social climates that you guys give us so much love and just realness and truth every morning. That's why I enjoy watching you. You're a perfect you're a perfect symbol of love.
You ever heard of butterscotch, sir? You talked about all different people, Nate.
Yeah, that's right. We got chocolate, caramel, and butterscotch.
Heard of that, Coach.
Deion, so I want to get back to Jackson State. Now, you brought attention to not only Jackson State, HBCUs. You talked about the funds. You talked about the attention. You talked about filling up the stadiums, putting butts in seats, selling merch. You shed so much light on what needs to be done at schools like that. Yet and still, when you left, you were heavily criticized. How did you feel about that?
That was ignorant. Come on, man. It was ignorant, but you got to understand the people that are criticizing you. I never listen to my critics, because my critics have critics. That's one thing. Let's just get that straight. Second,
African American. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I'm black. I can never leave who I am and what I am and how I am and how I go about being that. So it is still my task to look in that locker room and see 65 to 70% of African American men.
Tell the truth.
Young men worries me the most is just because I'm leaving Jackson, they think that I'm leaving African American. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I'm black. I can never leave who I am and what I am and how I am and how I go about being that. So it is still my task to look in that locker room and see 65 to 70% of African American men trying to help them get to the next level, as well as all the others.
Tell the truth.
Young men, young women, and people of all walks of life, all social climates, and all ethnicities. That's my calling. I call it.
Secondly, you got to understand that there's a group of persons that are not progressive, that don't want it, that ain't trying to go get it, that don't want to work, that don't want to subdue it and dominate it, that they're just sitting there idle and pointing fingers. My crowd is those people that are up in the morning watching you guys, getting ready to go to work, that's going to get it, that has 3 or 4 kids that's trying to make ends meet. Those are my people, and they get it. They get elevation. They get getting to something and turning water into wine. They get, we got to go and make it happen. They get that. But those people on the side of the road in Point Vegas, I don't get that.
I love this. I love my critics have critics. I just want to say something about your wife, Tracy Edmonds, who I know she is spectacular, smart, and gorgeous. And you said in the piece that you love your wife. You need your wife as much as you need toothpaste. And we all need toothpaste. I think that's a great way to put it. Because we all need toothpaste. So shout out to Tracy.
Tracy's a blessing, and trust me, she adds so much to me. Either people add or they subtract or help you multiply or divide. Tracy adds and helps me multiply.
Well, Deion, we appreciate you joining us, and I'll make this prediction. Even though you are one of the greatest NFL players of all time, I feel like what you did on the field will pale in comparison to what you're going to do as a coach. So you're
Thank you, and I'm recruiting your son. You do know that, right? Because I think.
All right, everybody. Deion Sanders doing his thing, said, hey, you know I'm going to recruit your son. You know that I'm going to be right there to recruit your son. And that's just like they were saying, Deion is on the move to recruit more players.
Sanders is here.
I didn't get the memo that we were all wearing ties. Nobody get nobody.
All of us.
Even him. Even him.
He went from tank top to tie. How about that? You know what? Deion is here scouting. You're starting your season with TCU next year.
Yeah, there's a rumor that they're going to play TCU, but I've got it on good information that it may be Arizona State, and I'll be doing a separate video about that. But as you can see, Deion really is crediting a lot to Jackson State. Also, he says that his critics have critics, and that's kind of interesting how he said that, that his critics have critics. But I'm hoping that he does, because he's admitted that his building blocks were at Jackson State that got him to Colorado. And what people also don't understand is that when he did his exclusive interview with Shannon Sharpe, he told Shannon Sharpe that Robinson, the AD at Jackson State, Ashley Robinson, originally said to Deion, can you give us 2-year contracts? See, a lot of people were thinking that Deion just bailed out of his. No, originally the contract was going to be for 2 years, and Deion gave him 3 years. He gave that exclusive interview to Shannon Sharpe right there from Undisputed. But he also told Shannon something that many of you may not know, is that Jackson State wasn't the only school that gave him that was looking to hire him. They're the school that showed the most interest and was really real about wanting to hire him. He said that there were some Power 5 teams that looked at him, but they really weren't that serious. But he gives credit to Jackson State for giving him the opportunity that he needed to propel himself to where he is now in his coaching career, his young coaching career, to be quite honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. So let's hear a little bit of that right now from him and Shannon right now.
So was Jackson State the only job that you interviewed for?
No, no, not whatsoever. There were 2 Power 5s, and then once the calls start coming from Jackson, I didn't know what Jackson was.
Right.
I had to really do my homework and understand the history of Jackson, then the history of HBCUs. I had to do my homework. That's the true story. And then I start thinking, hey, it's especially with what was going on in the pandemic, George Floyd and so forth. Hey,
this might work.
God, what you trying to do? Because I knew I was overqualified to get those.
Right.
But you closed the door. So what you trying to do? Led me right there. Ashley Robinson had been calling me, AD and Jackson had been calling me for weeks at a time, and he's good. He did his homework, and the thing that really got me, he said, how's Bossy doing? I said, how you know I call my daughter Bossy? He said, man, come on, I'm studying you like you studying us. So it was just a match made in heaven. Then
right.
I met with him, and
the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Look around. This, you hear. Power 5, D1, all of that. You, here.
I mean, I could see them cheering and chanting. I could feel the emotions. I could feel the hunger and the thirst and the want for us to just ball out.
Right.
For some dogs to run out that tunnel.
Right.
You know, behind Ralph and do the thing. I'm scared of Ralph. Me and Ralph got to meet.
Yeah.
Before we run out.
Okay. Hey, Ralph.
Yeah,
I'm a good guy. I'm on your side.
Take that right turn, and next thing you know, we're mean.
Yeah. You ain't the old Prime. You ain't the
old
old Prime.
Ain't the old Prime. But y'all can see it.
Right.
I can feel it, Shannon. Like this is it, man. This is. We gonna pack this thing, man.
When you laid your head on your pillow at night and dreamed and thought, is this what you thought?
I kind of see the conclusion of it.
Okay.
Before God shows me the beginning. That's why I say I just see it packed and people screaming, and chanting and cheering, and they're happy and they're elated, and we winning.
Right.
And winning.
Right.
And winning.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, Deion talking about we're winning and 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 we're coming. We're coming, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Deion Sanders is all about right now. He's got, as I've been playing throughout the video today, this evening, this night, wherever you're watching the program right now, I've been playing throughout the video his son, Deion Sanders, who has committed to, as you can see right here, he has committed to Colorado. I'm wondering about his other son, Shiloh, whether Shiloh is going to commit, as you see him here with his brother right here. Shiloh Sanders loves Jackson State, says he's got 2 more years of eligibility, wants to finish up his degree there, but is also looking at his options, as he has said in a previous video that I did, that, hey, Colorado might be the best place for my father, but I don't know if it's the best place for me. I got to check it out, and I will be doing a video because he did make a visit, and I'm going to show you what that response to the visit was. So hopefully he will take the transport portal to Colorado to be with his father and brother and do what they're doing there at that next level. He's already put himself in the transport portal after leaving Jackson, in this case, Jackson State. So we'll have to see how this all pans itself out. But this is something else. Deion Sanders is, he's doing his thing. And I appreciate the coach and what he's doing for not only what he did at Jackson State, but I appreciate the way he's going about his business as it relates to being at Colorado. He wants the best. He is the best. He fights for the best. He wants the best players. He's gonna try to get the best out of them, or he will get the best out of them. And we'll see how this journey works out for brother Primetime, Coach Primetime, everybody. So I appreciate you. The brother is looking swaggity on the GQ. Get that GQ issue. He speaks very candidly in that GQ issue there. And we're going to just see what we can make it do. To everybody out there, I really appreciate you being here today. And I would like you to do what? Subscribe. I want to say thank you for watching the video. First of all, like and comment. And once again, subscribe again to the channel. This is a brand new sports channel. This is Prime Sports Media, ladies and gentlemen, and I really appreciate you all here. We're going to see how this whole thing pans out. He gave a very candid interview on the CBS Morning Show. And we're going to keep this whole thing going as far as we can go. By the way, this channel will also talk about other sports issues that are going on, as well as Deion Sanders, but this channel will be centered around issues around Deion Sanders, his coaching career and where it goes, as well as other sports issues that are happening today. So with that said, I appreciate you all out there for being a part of the program today, but we're going to get ready to get on out of here, and I really appreciate you all. Bless you.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
No.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.